Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another video, and my name is Barba223. I hope you guys are all doing well today. And today we're going to be doing a Stamina Templar build. This is a build I just started running again. I just got back into ESO. It's been a while since I played, and yeah, let's just get right into it. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, comment, comment, comment. I need feedback. I want your opinion. I want to know how you feel about the build. So, as always, let's just get into it. So first we're going to start with the character screen. Now, this can be adjusted in the future. Nothing is set in stone. I just want to let everybody know that. So we have 20,000 magic. This again will be probably changed in the future. 20,000 magic is good though because we do have to do we use a lot of magic on this build as a stamina, quote unquote stamina Templar, but we do use a lot of magic. And then we have 28,000 health, which is about where I try to be. I try to be at 27, 28,000, whatever I can get to. The stamina is 1236, which is not really accurate. We end up getting well over 2000 when we're actually buffed up. We get 4,000 or 3700 weapon and spell damage unbuffed, which is pretty solid. There's a lot more buffs that we're going to have though. We do have 31% critical, which is good because Templars are a class that are able to utilize crit a lot better than a lot of other classes, considering they have built-in crit damage. So that's very solid. The penetration isn't great. Now, I'm going to give you an option to why it's not great, and I'm going to tell you what you could do to fix it. So yeah. And then the spell and physical resistance is 14,000 unbuffed. Crit resistance is 1300, also unbuffed. So we are an orc. We are using the Tower Mundus, and we're using Bewitched Sugar Skulls. So this all, again, adjust your Mundus Stone, adjust your food based on what you want your own stats to be. For me, you don't need that much stamina. Compared to like a magic build, you want to get a high pool of magic. Stamina is not that important, right? So let's just move into the gear. Now I'm going to say, before I even go over this, it all can be adjusted. I'm going to tell you why. So first, on the front bar, we are using Rallying Cry. Now this is a brand new set that one of my friends that I played with put me onto. This set is freaking awesome. It's so good. Now, it also will work really well in a Magplar, and this set is the reason we have so much magic, but it works out because the way we set up our skills, we use a crap ton of magic, so it works. So we are using a battle axe, and as you guys probably know, battle axes give 12% crit damage, which is really nice for a Templar because you get this on top of the 10% in your passives, so that's really nice. And then you get sharpened on it. Sharpen is the way to go, right? Or Nernhone, but I prefer sharpen for sure. And then we use disease damage as a glyph to proc the affliction that reduces healing done, right? So this set gives crit chance, max magic, crit chance, and then when Battle Spirit is active, which is whenever you're in PvP, this is always active, critically healing you or an ally, so very easy to do. Um, Gives you and up to 11 other group members within 12 meters, 300 spell and weapon damage, and 1600 crit resistance for 20 seconds. Crazy good set. You're getting a bunch of damage and you're getting a bunch of tankiness for 20 seconds. Each group member affected reduces this effect by 14 for spell and weapon, and crit resistance by 80. This can happen every 15 seconds. So as you can see, the cooldown is literally shorter than the duration. So the cooldown is 15 seconds, but the duration is 20 seconds. So 100% uptime is so easy. That's also why I like having a decent amount of crit, because when you do crit, this procs. Higher crit means it procs more often. You get the point. That's why at 30%, this is super easy to proc. And also, you can just use this on the front bar. You don't have to use it on the back bar because, for example, if you use Vigor or as a Templar, this is really easy. And also as an Orc, this is really easy because when you use your, let's say Vigor, you flip to your front bar, it can proc because it's a 5-second duration. Also, if you use Purifying Ritual, it lasts on the ground for a long time. It's a huge area. You flip to your front bar, it's going to proc. As an Orc, you get that passive healing when you do damage. That can proc, that can heal. There's so many sources of healing on a Templar that this is going to proc all the time on your front bar. It's nothing to worry about. Now, on the back bar, we are using Vatestrand, Battle Axe. If you could, you would have a great sword, but you know how long this took me to grind to even get the Battle Axe, so I don't want to do it. Powered on the back bar is probably always going to be my favorite option. You could also use Defending, up to you. And then I use a weapon damage enchant just to get that extra weapon damage. But I will say here, if you do want to change to a maul, get extra pen, that's totally fine. That might be even a little bit better. But I prefer the axe. That's just how I play. So, totally up to you. So let's get into the gear. So we're using Engine Guardian, guys. Don't clown me in the comments. It's a carry, blah, blah, blah. Just be happy I'm not using Magma Incarnate, okay? There are some options. You can use Battlelord, Magma Incarnate, or Engine Guardian. But for me, Engine Guardian gives everything. You get that extra resource management. You get that damage mitigation from your little Engine Guardian rolling around. So you get, everyone knows what this does, right? So we are using a heavy helm, and then the rest is going to be medium, just so you know. The other 5-piece we're using is Deadly, so Deadly is real good on magic and stamina builds. Like I said, this stamina Templar could easily turn into a magic Templar just by respecting your skills, so which is also something I really enjoy. So this gives weapon damage, crit chance, weapon and spell damage, and then 15% damage increase to dot damage over time and channeled abilities, which is your main source of damage, biting jabs. So very solid. And we are using 1 heavy and 6 medium, so yeah. Then Engine Guardian. If you can, I'd go well fitted, reinforced, or impen on all the pieces. That's just what I do personally, so keep that in mind. And then we are using 3 rallying cry like jewelry pieces. Now, like I said before, the reason I have so much magic is because this set does come in light armor or with magic arcane enchants on the jewelry. I am new to ESO again, so I didn't have enough transmutes to change all these. But I thought, you know what? Let's just embrace the extra magic and put more points into stamina. And then that's why I went with the Tower Mundus, because it kind of goes together. And it actually works out really well. There is no issue with almost 20k magic because, like I said, let's get into our skills and I'll tell you why. Toppling Charge. This is going to be our CC ability. So being able to have almost 20k magic allows you to never run out of it. It's my favorite CC in the game. It does a decent amount of damage, it stuns, it sets them off balance, it interrupts. It's a really good skill, and having that extra magic allows you to not worry about not being able to cast it when people are running away. So it works out really, really well. If you do want to change it, you can go infused on the jewelry, you can go stamina on the jewelry. It's up to you. But I do like having magic, and I'll probably change it and test it out, but we'll see. That's also why I mentioned this build could be good as a magic Templar as well. So we are using Toppling Charge. Then we're using Camo Hunter. Like I said, I do like having that crit. Now I know you do get crit all the time from biting jabs, but you do also actually get extra magic damage, and then you get the Minor Berserk when you attack someone from the flank. So it's really easy to proc, and it's a good skill, I think. It's nice having that crit up at all times, etc. So it's a good one. You are using Power of the Light. This used to be a trash skill. Now I think it's really, really good. It gives penetration. It builds up a bunch of damage. It scares people. It makes them want to run away. It makes them want to use their cleanse, etc. I think it's a really good skill. It explodes for a lot of damage sometimes. People just drop dead in front of you, and I'm like, okay, like whatever. We are using Executioner. Now there is a specific reason. With 20k magic, you could easily just run Radiant Destruction. I don't like using that. Main reason is because as a two-hander, when you do use a finisher, let's see, where is it? Let's see. Here we go. Increases your stam recovery by 30 seconds after killing a target. Now I know that don't yell at me. I know it only requires you to have the 2-hand equipped, but I don't know. It just feels like for me, it seems to be easier to proc when I use Executioner. It might sound crazy, but I don't know. And I also like it that in fact it's really cheap, so I'm always going to be up in people's face anyway, so it's easy to get off. And then we're using Buddy Jabs, bread and butter, does a crap ton of damage. It gives you major brutality, major sorcery when it procs. Like, it's such a good one. What else is there to say about it? Crazy, crazy good. And then lastly, we're using Crescent Sweep. It does magic damage. The other version does physical damage, but this one's way better because of that 60% extra damage when hitting people in front of you. So. And then the back bar, we're using Restoring Focus. Again, bread and butter skill. This one buffs your recovery by 480 because you're restoring 242 every second. So recoveries every 2 seconds, you get 480. So that's why I said the 1200 stand recovery is very, very inaccurate. Also, standing within the rune heals you every second. Like I said, this can also proc your Rallying Cry. If it crits on the, like it just did, it crits on the front bar, see? So, real easy to proc that Rallying Cry. And then Extended Ritual, again, bread and butter of Templar, another skill that can also proc your Rallying Cry. It heals every 2 seconds. It has a really large radius, as you can see. So, again, it cleanses, which is the best skill in the game. That's why I run Templar, because there's so many negative effects and procs and dots. It's just great to run this. And then Elude might be the best defensive skill in the entire game, honestly. Also, you need 5 pieces of medium, which is why I wanted 1 heavy and 6 medium, because this is really good. I mean, you get that, you reduce damage taken by 20% from AoEs for 40 seconds. Like, there's not many buffs in the game that are that long, that are that powerful. And then, if you take damage from an AoE, you get Major Expedition. I feel like this is up all the time. It always saves my life. So having a skill that can provide you with damage mitigation, Major Expedition, like Major Evasion, like all in one is just incredible. It's a must-have in my opinion for medium armor builds. So, and then Resolving Vigor, as you know, just a great skill. You know, it's a heal, does a lot, bread and butter again. It buffs a lot when you're standing in your Templar abilities, so real good. And then here we're using Rally. Again, gives you brutality and sorcery. Like you guys know, the new updates give sorcery and, you know, it gives both. So you can be a hybrid. Again, like I said, this build can very well be just a magic Templar build if you want it to be, which is very, very nice. You get a big heal when it ends. You could use the other version of it, but I don't think it's worth it, because you can just cleanse and use Major Evasion, you're good. You don't need the other version. Um, it also gives extra stam recovery, like I said, so the 1200 that's on the tooltip in the beginning is not at all accurate. And then here we're using Remembrance as our oh crap thing, you know, oh my god, I need to heal. It pretty much makes you invincible for this for a little bit, right? One person is not going to kill you. Even 2 or 3 people, probably not going to kill you. So yeah, that's the skills, guys. I'm not going to do CP because I don't play CP. I literally play BGs in like Imperial City and no CP. So I'm not going to go over that for no reason. Sorry. But if you do want to swap some stuff out, I'll give you some options here. Um, let's see. So in me, if you want to swap out Camo Hunter, you very well may want to swap that out. I totally understand. You could easily just put in Caltrops because that's going to give you more pen. It's going to lower people's resistance. It's going to slow them, whatever. But I don't like having to use this because you have to spam it all the time. I feel like it drains my stamina too much, and then I'm too worried about having this up. So when I have this Camo Hunter up, it's just passive. It's always going. I don't have to worry about it, so it's a little bit easier for me. I don't think about it as much. Another thing you could do, maybe drop Power of the Light and put on Caltrops, but I still think that burst damage and Power of the Light, also proccing with that damage from the Burning Light passive is just too good. So that's how I think, at least. But yeah, you get some crazy passives as Templar, of course, crit damage. Now on the back bar, I really don't think there's anything you could possibly swap out here. Worst case scenario, I don't know, somehow you could throw on Eclipse. In my opinion, if you're not using evasion, so let's say you are using more heavy armor or something, or you're using light armor because Rallying Cry comes in light armor, you could throw an Eclipse because it is a heal. It's not bad, it's pretty good, but it does cost a lot of magic, so I don't really like it for that reason. And I think Elude is the best defensive skill in the game. So yeah, and then in terms of an ultimate, Christian Sweep is my favorite because for one, it's almost impossible to miss. It does damage from you in an AoE, meaning you can't really cleanse that, right? It doesn't do damage to them, so it's not a negative effect, meaning it does damage from your body, aka you can't cleanse it. So that's why I like it, because Dawnbreaker, you hit someone with Dawnbreaker, yeah, it stuns, it does a lot of damage, but it costs more than, like, almost double of what Crescent Sweep costs, and you can just cleanse it. So, like, how is that any good for anyone? And then again, you could also use Berserker Strike. There's a couple options, but in my opinion, this is the best setup. Uh, I don't really think it gets better in terms of skills for me. And again, I'm an orc because you get health, you get stam, you get that heal that procs, and then you also get damage and you get movement speed. So, orc is incredible in my opinion. So don't sleep on the orc, baby. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you want to see some gameplay, I just uploaded it the other day, so make sure you check that out. And as always, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below, and thank you. Have a good one.